You are listening to I Am Interchange.
I Am Interchange.
I Am Interchange.
I Am Interchange.
Fostering curiosity, education, and empathy by exploring the controversial and the provocative.
I Am Interchange.
Hey, good morning. Tate Chamberlin with I Am Interchange here. And this morning, I'm talking to Jack Horner, a.k.a. the fossil hunter whose legendary findings inspired Jurassic Park and set mine and the world's imagination about dinosaurs on fire. Jack has also worked on all of the Jurassic Park films to make sure the depictions of dinosaurs and the science discussed are as accurate as possible.
Jurassic World changes it up a little bit. We have dinosaurs, let's make some hybrids. Let's do some genetic engineering and make some hybrid dinosaurs. And I'm trying to do that myself scientifically, so I really think I can make a dinosaur one day.
Jack is a globally renowned paleontologist and professor that we're fortunate to have as a neighbor in Interchange's home community of Bozeman, Montana. And on the topic of population control, he has a clear perspective. If we don't want to go extinct, it's an issue we need to think about and address right away. As Jack examines, we don't yet know what the carrying capacity of the Earth is because we've extended our ability to live on this planet with agricultural technology and inventions. But he believes we're getting close, and population control is our only option to continue living here without a radical transformation of the lifestyle we know and love. The science he's studied and taken to a new level has shown that humans have been living on the planet for 3 million years, but lack the stewardship directive to ensure our existence continues. In the course of our conversation, Jack acknowledges we have the capability of causing our own extinction. But the question is, will we turn it around before the breaking point? Whistle Pig Korean is an affordable, laid-back spot where Bozeman residents can experience traditional Korean dishes. Personally, I love the infusion of new culture and new ideas to the Bozeman mix. It's what I Am Interchange is all about. And since the fastest way to the heart is through my stomach, I Am Interchange supports Whistle Pig Korean and their spread of unique recipes. Good morning. Welcome to the I Am Interchange morning show. I'm with Jack Horner, the world-renowned paleontologist, and is a featured panelist at our upcoming event, Should We Control Our Population Growth? This episode is getting to know Jack and his perspective around the topic. Morning, Jack. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
How you doing?
Good.
It's early, bright and early. So you just got off a dig, or a search.
A search, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of what you described to me as what you've been kind of evolving into.
Right.
Your new search engine.
Yeah, well, when a guy's retired, then you can change it up a little.
Yeah, I get a little less pressure to go about things. What were you like as a kid?
Same thing. I went out, get up in the morning, go out looking for stuff.
Is there anything that inspired you what inspired you? Did you always know you wanted to be a paleontologist?
Yeah, I think I was born this way. I remember even as when I was 3 years old, I remember, just looking in the alley for rocks and going through people's garbage can looking for cool junk. And, just when I was 4 years old, my parents moved to a place. I was born and raised in Shelby, Montana. And so it's a place that is geologically interesting. So my parents moved to this very nice house on a hill that had a vacant lot next door that had lots of rock sticking out, and I would go out there and find fossils when I was 4. So I found my first, pretty nice fossils, ammonites, clams, things like that, when I was 4 years old. And I really liked the whole notion of finding things and trying to figure out what they were. So I would go to the library, even, at the age of 5, have my mother take me to the library, and I would go through the books and see if I could identify what I had.
Wow. So you must have been digging. There must have been times where you dug for days maybe on what it could possibly be.
You don't dig, really. You search. Fossils.
I meant through the library on what you found, trying to figure that out.
Yeah, our library wasn't very big, and after I graduated from high school, one of the librarians gave me the fossil book, and she said, "You're the only one that ever checked it out." and you had checked it out so many times it belongs to you.
Oh, that's sweet. What a great gift. Do you still have it?
I do.
Awesome. That's really inspiring. It sounds like you were kind of all in the paleontology thing. There's nothing else you would have wanted to do.
There's not. Well, I had some interest I liked astronomy as well. I like the stars and I like planets and things like that, but you can't really touch them. Fossils you can touch, so it wasn't very long. It wasn't a long interest.
Okay. It wound up as more of a hobby.
More of a hobby, I would say, yeah.
Jurassic Park, you later evolved into. It was one of the most impactful movies of my childhood, and I used to collect the Jurassic Park trading cards with all of my friends. Mm-hmm. And
I didn't even know they made trading cards.
They did. I had all of them. What was your involvement in that production?
I was the technical advisor. My job was to make sure that the dinosaurs were as accurate as they could be based on the science we had at the time. And also, I was on set when they were shooting it, so I would go through the script with them and with the actors to make sure that they could pronounce their paleontological words correctly. I spent a lot of time with Sam Neill because his character is based on me.
Dr. Grant.
Yes. And so I spent a lot of time with Sam Neill so he could see what a paleontologist was really like.
Moody,
yeah. And, I just, answered questions from Steven Spielberg mostly.
Do you think, did they make too many Jurassic Park movies?
I don't know. I've worked on all of them. The movie business is simple. If it makes money, make another one.
Did they ever lose accuracy as it went on?
Well, they don't really lose accuracy. The storyline has evolved. So the first storyline is, being able to bring dinosaurs back by cloning their DNA that is found in amber. Jurassic World changed it up a little bit by saying, okay, now we have dinosaur DNA. We have dinosaurs. Let's make some hybrids. Let's do some genetic engineering and make some hybrid dinosaurs. And, a lot of people might think that's kind of funny, but on the other hand, I'm trying to do that myself scientifically. So I can't really complain about it or say that that's, less accurate because I really think I can make a dinosaur one day.
Humans have the tendency to want to evolve things and...
Well, the movie needed to go somewhere off the island. And so a hybrid dinosaurs, making new kinds of dinosaurs in the present, is a cool way to do that.
This is a goal of yours to kind of turn it into reality, to make a dinosaur.
Exactly. To bring dinosaurs back, yes.
Is that what you're searching for these days?
Well, these days I have a lot of different kinds of projects. One of them is working with a woman at Montana State University to see if we can bring back some dinosaur characteristics, finding dormant genes that might have been turned off during their evolution. Birds are living dinosaurs. So birds are the descendants of dinosaurs. And so we think that during the course of evolution, going from dinosaurs to birds, that they lost certain characteristics to evolution, but some of those characteristics might just be dormant. It may be that we can turn them back on again. Genes like that are called atavistic genes, and we humans have some atavistic genes, and we think that birds might have some as well. So we know that now. I mean, we've demonstrated it. We can make a bird with teeth, for example. Teeth were something that their evolutionary ancestors had.
Interesting. So when you do find this piece of DNA, how will you create that step?
Well, we're not finding DNA. Birds carry dinosaur DNA because they're their descendants.
Right.
All we're looking for is we're going into their genome and looking for these genes that have been turned off and turn them back on and see if we can't make something that looks more like a modern, looks like our modern version of a dinosaur.
I see. Interesting. That would be wild.
That'd be wild, yeah. And right now, there's been a number of people, a number of different laboratories around the world that have been trying to do this as well, and there are some characteristics that we can bring back, like the shape of the head. Going from a bird-like head to a velociraptor-like head.
Ooh, that's scary. Yeah. With the same teeth.
And we can do teeth. So
can it open doors?
Well, that's arms and hands. We're working on that as well. We do have a way to hatch out a bird that has arms and hands rather than wings. Yes.
Whoa. So like a velociraptor.
Yeah, except the only problem we're having, the biggest speed bump in this project so far is the tail, the long bony tail. Birds have lost that, and dinosaurs had that. And so we're trying to get a bird with a long bony tail, and we're having some difficulties.
That's so cool. Our topic is about population growth and whether we should control it. Is overpopulation something that we should be concerned about?
Well, it depends on what our end goal is, right? If our end goal is not to go extinct, then we probably should.
So you should control it.
Well, when you think about the population of the Earth, biologically, the biomass of the Earth and all of the different kinds of animals and plants, all other life forms besides ours control their population just through evolution. You get too many animals in one area, there's not enough food, so a lot of them die out. That doesn't really happen in our species because we have the capability of keeping people from going extinct, or at least populations from going extinct.
With like medicine,
with hunger. Medicine and hunger. I mean, all sorts of things, right? I mean, we can solve certain problems that the natural world can't. And because of that, obviously, we can overpopulate. And we don't know what the carrying capacity of the Earth is yet because we haven't really seen the results of too many, right?
Do you think we're close?
I think a lot of people have thought we've always been close, right? I mean,
sure.
It's kind of funny. If you look back in history, people thought we were close, and yet we still have lots more people. So, we have the technology to continue to feed more people. So I don't know really what the carrying capacity is, and I don't know that anyone does, but it seems like we should be close. I mean, how many billion people are there right now?
I think a little over 7. They say that by the year 2100, the population will be 10 billion.
10 billion?
Yeah. Do we have enough resources for that?
That's the interesting question.
Can't science take care of it?
Well, they expect science to, and science may be able to. If we start feeding on algae, for example, we probably can deal with 10 billion people.
But we like steak.
So that, we might have to change our diet a little bit.
So should we trust in science and go all in, or scale back to being great again?
Well, that's a good question. As we all know, we like what we like in the United States, and people in other countries don't have what we have here in the United States, but they would like to have what we have here in the United States. And what we have here in the United States, we probably can't, the whole world probably cannot have. There just aren't enough resources. And when I say that, there aren't enough resources from the natural world. Enough metals or enough coal or enough products to make fuel. And of course, we have politics thrown in, which
that
doesn't help at all, right? But it is an interesting question because I say we can't, the world can't support everyone living at we'll say a middle income American family level.
The world can't support that.
The world, I don't think it can. I just don't think we have enough resources for the whole world. for 7 billion people to be living in a middle-income American life. I don't think we can. I don't think the world has that capability. However, it might. I don't know that level has been reached, but it'd be pushing the envelope, I can tell you.
We'll find out, won't we? How long have humans been on Earth?
Well, it depends on what humans are. It depends on your definition of a human.
What, with your definition of a human?
Boy, I don't know that I have a definition either.
Is it longer than 10,000 years?
It's definitely longer than 10,000 years, yeah. There have been humans in North America for probably a little more than 10,000 years. Humanness, I'm guessing, arose, again, it depends on somebody's definition, but, we can certainly go back to human-like ancestors that are 3 million years at least. 3 million. 250,000 for, I don't know, I don't know all the numbers, but I think it's around 250,000 years ago we had Neanderthal. And as we all know, our species at that time and Neanderthal were still had some connection. So some of us have Neanderthal in us. And that's 250,000. So, yes, 10,000 that's nothing.
Do humans have authority over Earth?
Only according to the Bible.
So religion brought that authoritarianism to the table?
I don't have a Bible handy, but there is a statement in there where God tells people to
use their resources,
right?
According to the Bible, we do. Is that what you're saying?
Well, according to the Bible, I think that a lot of people would interpret it that way, yes.
The Bible talks a lot about being good stewards while using Earth's resources. Do you think humans are good stewards, and do humans have the ability to destroy Earth?
Of course. Well, are we good stewards? No, we're not very good stewards. We wouldn't be having this discussion if we were. Can we destroy Earth? Was that your question?
Yeah.
We can't really destroy Earth. I mean, we don't have the capability of blowing it up completely, the whole thing. Do we have the capability of destroying ourselves? Yeah, I think we do. I think we can easily destroy ourselves, and a good sizable population of what I would call metazoans, the multicellular organisms. I think I don't think we're ever going to be able to destroy all life. Bacteria, for example. I think bacteria are actually in charge.
Interesting. So Earth probably isn't going to go away, but humans have the potential to make themselves extinct?
Yeah, we definitely have the capability of causing our own extinction, of course.
You think by bacteria or some other cause?
Well, if bacteria were a little bit smarter, maybe they would take us out. Just, on the other hand, we create all of these interesting structures and that allows them to have new niches to live in. So they probably like us. I mean, how many, when you think about the fact that we have more bacterial cells in our body than we have our own cells, they probably like us.
What's the world in your mind like in 100 years?
I think every single generation, everyone in every single generation realizes that things got worse, right? So in your lifetime, I know, I think back, and I know my parents thought back and said, things have kind of gone to hell since I got older in this world. And then I came along and now it seems like things have, deteriorated.
Even more so.
Even more so. And I think each generation sees that. And so each new generation is, faced with new problems that they have to solve. And we all look back and think that things were better. And as long as we keep thinking that, as long as we keep looking back and saying, wow, things were better in the past, then things probably are going south pretty quickly. I mean, each generation, when you think about that. On the other hand, we still have a pretty cool planet to live on, but we are messing with it. I mean, we are messing with the environment. We're definitely messing with the ocean. And the ocean we depend on. So if we kill the ocean, we kill us.
Is that something that's happening?
Yeah, seems to be.
What do you think about going to Mars and populating it?
Think of all the stuff we have to take with us
Like
from
what?
here. Well, unless we can find an awful lot of water, we have to take an awful lot of water.
Oh, so we have to, in order to colonize Mars, we're going to, at this point, before water's found, we'll have to ship water.
If we're going to have to ship water, that seems kind of wrong, doesn't it?
Say water was found, should we just give up on Earth and go towards another planet that has resources?
But it doesn't have the kinds of resources this planet has.
Yeah, but humans are adaptable.
This planet has everything we need. Mars doesn't.
So what's the fixation with Mars then?
Well, that's an interesting question. That is kind of that's the island population problem, right? You're on one island and you take everything off of it, and so you move to the next island. You take everything off of it, you move to the next island. You take everything off of it, and then what if there is no next island?
Well, so say the next island is going to heaven. Is back to kind of our religious discussion. Is there a piece to religion that creates a yearning to fast forward to the end of days to go to heaven that kind of separates our stewardship of the earth?
I don't know. I don't read the Bible.
Yeah, but do you think the Bible could teach that? Or people kind of...
I don't know. You need to talk to a religious person about this because I don't know anything about. I'm an evolutionary biologist. I really don't know very much about stuff like that.
All right. Well, we've got one at our event coming up in November. What happens when we die?
What happens when we die?
Yeah.
When we die, we're dead.
So just going back into the soil and nothing?
Nothing. The bacteria eat our bodies, and maybe a little energy is released.
That doesn't sound very promising.
Well, I guess you could define that energy as anything you wanted, right? I mean,
Okay.
You could anthropomorphize it, right?
Sure. Is there anything you're more excited about than others about this topic?
No, I take what David Quammen would call the long view, and that is just looking at the big picture over a long period of time, and quite frankly, it's a very pessimistic view because I just don't see how we can keep inventing things, and we can keep science is very good at solving problems, but there does become a limit to the resources. And there becomes a carrying capacity problem. So 10 billion, maybe we can do that. 20 billion, I doubt. So somewhere along the way, somebody's going to have to control population, or we face extinction.
Jack Horner, thanks so much for being here. It's been a real pleasure talking about this with you. We'll see you at our upcoming event, Should We Control Our Population Growth, coming up in November. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome.
That's a wrap on this episode. And as always, there's a lot to consider. But one thing is certain. As humans, we approach big topics from very different angles. This episode was brought to you by the Montana Governor's Office of Economic Development, the City of Bozeman, 10 Directions, Hatch, the Yellowstone Theological Institute, Montucky Cold Snacks, the Nova Cafe, Zocalo Coffee House, Whistle Pig Korean, Dean Zesty Booch, Bliss, the Sola Cafe and Market, Shank Construction, Ben Johnson Photography, Loken Productions, Superfluous Industries, and Blunderbuss. A shout out to our editors and media team, Pat Loken, Jessup Sandoval, Allison Gregory, Shannon Hughes, Jessica Byerly, Jacob Desch, Nathaniel Johns, and Nicholas Hill. A special thanks, as always, to Debbie Shank, Joe Fedora, Ethan Hoare, and Elliot Canfield. Do you have an issue that's riddled by gridlock in your community? We want to hear from you. Shoot me a message at tate@IamInterchange.org. That's Tate at IAMinterchange.org. Until next time, share airtime and don't ruin dinner.